Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie Infernape, and this is my team builder and battle for round 2 of the playoffs of Season 6 of the Major Pokemon League. This week I'm playing my good pal, Blue Rogue, coach of the AFC Wormadam. So Blue Rogue is a fellow commissioner, or fellow admin, I guess, but he's really helped me out. I'm technically the commissioner, but he's done a lot of work and really done more work than me, so he's done an amazing job as the admin. And is great overall in the league, and he's been really helpful. And he's also just a super nice guy in general. He's honestly one of the kindest people that I know. He's just awesome. I love Rogue. He's so funny and great, and everyone loves Rogue. He's just the best. But that's enough of positive talk about Rogue. Let's beat him. Let's go. So I played Rogue earlier in the season in Week 9, and what I'm showing you right now is my Week 9 team, so not the team I'm bringing this week. And I did lose to him there. I wasn't trying my best, and he also wasn't. Like, neither of us brought our A team. Not to say that we brought memes and just gimmicks and just like had fun. We still brought. I think we both brought like serious teams, maybe like a B or C version of the team. Like, I had some other ideas and some things I wanted to bring, but I thought, you know what, if we're playing playoffs, I want to save that. I think that's really good and kind of too good to bring in the Week 9 matchup. So I brought kind of like some B team level stuff. So I'm just going to briefly run over what I brought last time just to kind of recap. His team and my team will be on screen. My team's the same. I'll read it off just because. Megalodios, Tapu Fini, Gliscor, Nihilego, Lucario, Empoleon, Mienshao, Stunfisk, Umbreon, Swellow, Charizard, Z-Mons, and Nihilego, and Lucario. His team is Zygarde 50, Zapdos, Ferrothorn, Volcarona, Alolan, Ninetales, Starmie, Kofag, Megatetar, Toxicroak, Lycanroc, Midday, and Rufflet. The Z users are Lycanroc, Rufflet, and Volcarona. So, very scary team on his end. He's got a lot of quad weak mons, which means hidden powers and coverage is kind of awkward this game. He's got like Zygarde probably weak to ice, Ferrothorn probably weak to fire, Volcarona probably weak to rock, Ninetales steel, T-Tar's fighting, Toxicroak to psychic. So we've got 6 mons that have a quad weakness, and not all of them you need to are even that bulky or that much of a threat that you need to bring like a hidden power or weird coverage, or like Toxicroak. I'm not going to go out of my way to carry psychic coverage. Like on Latios, I'll bring psychic stab. But I'm not going to go super out of my way to bring psychic coverage for that, or to bring like a steel move necessarily for the Ninetales. But still, like a lot of things are threats. Like Volcarona, you want to rock him from something, because you don't want that thing setting him for free. T-Tar, you're going to need some fighting moves to hit it, or else you're really not hitting it for too much damage. Zygarde, you need some kind of ice move probably, and then Ferrothorn, you probably need some kind of fire move. So that just makes coverage and makes move slots tricky in this game, and really makes you have to think about which mons you bring, and makes each slot of a Pokemon and each move slot on the Pokemon even more valuable. So this matchup is really difficult. But 6 I'm expecting from his end. Actually, I'm just gonna run through this team that I bring before I get into what I'm expecting. Look at me. I'm just gonna talk about this team. So we got Scarfini, which is nice. His only fairy resist is Pharaoh and Volcarona. I knew he had at least one more. But yeah, so this is a nice modest spec set. Help me lure in and pick off these Zapdos. I like Clay dual screens Nihilego to help my Umbreon set up and passing my Lucario, because I had Curse B-Pass Umbreon with Agility Lucario, which was White Herb. So if I pass at least one curse, or however many curses, then the speed that the speed drop from Curse then gets healed, or I guess neglected by my White Herb. So then I just have the attack and the defense boost, and then I can set up the agility, and if I have screens up, that'll make Umbreon setting up, or even Umbreon setting up, Umbreon passing, and then Lucario setting up even easier. So that's why I brought that, and then just a Toxic heal, like Taunt Toxic, Gliscor to help me beat his Zapdos, and then a Shuka and Empoleon with rocks and 3 attacks. So, and it was Fizz Def to just help me take hits from like T-Tar and stuff. But yes, actually, let me get into what he brought last time, go into my team this time. So last time, the 6 that he brought was Zygarde, Zapdos, Ferrothorn, and Megatetar, Lycanroc, and Rufflet. We got to a position in the game where I might have been able to win if he didn't crit me with a Stone Edge from Lycanroc. It was not super definitive that I do win. I made a play. Yeah, I remember I ended up clicking Foul Play instead of flicking Baton Pass. If I clicked Baton Pass, then I think I could have definitely won, or almost definitely won. But if I clicked Foul Play like I did, and he didn't crit me, then it would not have been as definite. It depends on the plays that he and I make. But also, I misplayed a bit. Like, instead of bringing in Umbreon, I should have brought in, I should have brought in Empoleon, and then after he killed Maine and had to bring in Zygarde, then I should have brought Nihilio to get screens and should have played that a little bit differently. And it might have been able to get a win and not risk the potential of him getting a crit. But it is what it is. It's already in the past. I'm just gonna not get salty about me losing there, especially because this is the end of the regular season. Going into the week did not clinch the playoffs, but since Mystic lost, I did clinch the playoffs that week. But I'm just getting to my team, getting into this week. I already spent 5 minutes talking about stuff that's not even this team, so let me just get into it. So the 6 I'm expecting is mainly the same team, but the overall 6 I'm expecting are Zygarde, Zapdos, Fairy Thorn, Mega-Titar, Toxicroak, and Lycanroc. So the same 6, except instead of Rufflet, I think Toxicroak. I don't really think he'll bring Rufflet. I think he brought that just because he wanted to bring it. It was fun, but I think he needs to take this game a little bit more seriously. And I mean, it's a good mon, but I don't think that's a great matchup versus me. Like, I have Nihilio, I have Empoleon, I have Stunfisk, I have pretty good checks to it. So I don't think Rufflet is the best matchup this week. So I don't think I'll bring it. Toxicroak is a really scary boy this week, as with Poison plus Ice plus Fighting coverage, with Gunk Shot, Drain Punch, and Ice Punch, it hits really everything on my team. And then it can also bring Sucker Punch or maybe Sword Stance. Probably Sucker Punch, which can often check the Latios and just pressure that, or like Nihilego for the Scarf, or just like Swallow or something. Like my fast mons that don't want to take a Sucker Punch. Really anything barring Lucario, pretty much. Then or barring Manchar too. But Toxicroak's a really annoying mon, and he's hard for me to switch into. Like, Gliscor is a good switch in if you ignore the fact that it gets Ice Punch. Feeny, it can switch into anything barring his Poison Stab, and Mega Laios is a decent switch in, but Ice Punch or Gunk Shot still do a lot. And Stunfisk is a pretty good switch in actually, but Drain Punch or Ice Punch could still be scary, and it also does get Earthquake. I don't think he's going to bring Earthquake, I don't think he needs it, but Toxicroak is scary. I think it will come. Volcarona I don't think is the best matchup versus me, because I do stuff like Nihilego. Mega Latios makes it bring Bug Buzz, or Bug Stab, which would be Bug Buzz. Topic Feeny probably forces him to bring Giga Drain or something. Nihilego already said might force him to bring Hidden Round, or, I mean, I guess, I was just supposed to stabs. I mean, I guess Giga Drain's neutral, so I guess that might be good enough. Then I also have Charizard too, which might force him to bring, really, I mean, those 4 moves, like, if he brings, like, between Bug Buzz, Hidden Power Ground, Giga Drain, and Fire Stab, which I'll probably bring 3 of, and then Quiver Dance. Probably Giga Drain, Bug Buzz, and Fire Stab, and Quiver Dance. Then he can't really hit Charizard super hard, so I also have Charizard to help me there, which I'm not bringing Charizard or Nihilego, so I'm a little bit weaker to Volcarona because of that, but I don't really expect it too much in the matchup. Then some other mons like Starmie and Ninetales can be scary, and I mean, and Kovac. Kovac's the one that I didn't mention. Kovac could be a good Lucario check and could help Zapdos out with dealing with my fighting types, which I'm bringing both of actually. The T-Tar's a big threat, I expect that, and he's got a lot of threats. Like Zygarde is scary, can set up. T-Tar can be D-Dance too. Lycanroc can be SD with a Z move that thing's terrifying. But let me get to my team. So we got Scarf Mancha here, really good boy, really like it this week. So the main premise of this is I can outspeed, max speed, Team Volcarona, and check a +1 Volcarona, check a +1 Zygarde, +1 T-Tar. It's really great. The regen instead of Reckless is mainly here, so I can pivot into something early game, like maybe pivot into T-Tar, pivot into, probably not into Ferrothorn because Gyro does a lot, but maybe pivot into something else, maybe like Toxicroak. I can live in one hit and then just like U-turn out, or into a lot of things. Like even into Lycanroc's actually pretty good switching into that, and I can outspeed and then just pressure him and U-turn. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just outspeeds everything on his team, barring Scarf Starmie or Scarf Ninetales. So it's really nice to have in this matchup, and gives me some comfort, and basically it gets in my head that I just need to make sure I can't let anything get to +2, like Zygarde or Volcarona or T-Tar. I can't let them get to +2, or even if they do actually do something for that, which I'll get into next. But this thing is just a good security blanket to help me check a lot of his mons. Like High Jump Kick does around half, a little over half to Zygarde, Stone Edge, Okos, Volcarona if I hit. And then U-turn and Knockoff are nice to pivot. Knockoff could be good to knock off items and stuff like Zapdos and Kofag and maybe Pharaoh and whatever else. I didn't really need a last move. Maybe I could have brought Rock Slide too, like Rock Slide and Stone Edge. I feel like I do like Stone Edge to spam and to have the power, but I don't want to miss. Rock Slide could be useful in case I don't want to miss, but it still has a chance to miss. But it's not that powerful, or at least relative to Stone Edge, and doesn't hit Zapdos quite as hard, so it'll be a lot easier to pick up a 2KO if I have Stone Edge and Rock Slide. So I went for Stone Edge in the end. Maybe I could have brought Rock Slide over that, or Rock Slide over Knockoff. I feel like these 4 moves are really solid. Next we got Lucario, which is a Focus Sash set. Also, real quick, let me mention my good pal, Mega Jolteon. Big thanks to him. He helped me a lot with building. On the night prior to when I battled, he and I hopped in the call, and we just kind of fixed my team and went over it, and I felt a lot more comfortable after that call, and we really made this team, I think, really solid, so big shout out to him. He was the one that came up with this set. Originally this was a Scarf Lucario, with the Scarf Manchow too, so dual Scarfers, but I changed this to Focus Sash because he suggested it. So Focus Sash with Sword Stance, I really like this set. Focus Sash gives me another safety blanket, so even if stuff gets a +2, like Volcarona, T-Tar, Zygarde, I can take a hit, and then, I have Ice Punch for Zygarde and Close Combat for T-Tar. I don't have Stone Edge for Volcarona, but I can still click E-Speed twice and do a good chunk, or maybe, well, actually, probably click Close Combat. Yeah, Close Combat, then E-Speed, if I really want to, just to, because Close Combat hits harder than E-Speed. Although maybe if I'm fearing Flame Body, I guess I could SD on the turn that puts me down by a Sash, and then hit him with E-Speed, that way I don't get burned the first turn. But, like, E-Speed, 2 E-Speeds do, like, 70%, so as long as it gets some damage on the turns that he's setting up, I'll be fine. Or if I have Rocks up, then even better. Then the 2 E-Speeds kill him, so great. But yeah, this is a really nice set to 1, help me check any of his setup mons, and 2, the Focus Sash allows me to set up on things like Zygarde, potentially. Probably not Zygarde, because if he outspeeds me, then I don't want to take the arrows, SD, and then get outspeed and die, but it allows me that, even if that thing does outspeed me and it's not in range of +2 E-Speed to kill him, I can still live the arrows and then Ice Punch, as I can maybe like Sword Stance, on a switch, like if I scare a Fire Thorn or Lichen Rock or something. And also just gives me more pressure, just gives me more attack with Sword Stance, allows me just to pressure his team more, and really, these 2 fighting types work really well together, so I can just pressure his team. He doesn't have great fighting checks. He's got Zapdos and Kothag, but as of that, his fighting checks really aren't great. I mean, Volcarona also can be one if he does bring that, but still, fighting spam is pretty effective versus his team, so really, one of these 2 can help weaken down his team, and then allow the other one to be in a position to win, so that's really how I'm intending to play this game. But yeah, I really like Lucario. The speed is for max speed, Jolly Toxicroak. But yeah, so next we got Cochrane, the Stunfisk here with the Shookaberry, Earth Power, and Bear Ice, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. I really wanted Rock Slide on the set, and originally did have it in the Toxic slot, but I was doing a lot of thinking, and I really wanted Toxic on the set, and in the end, I think Omega, in the end, it was really him convincing me. Volcarona doesn't have a great matchup, and he made me realize it really doesn't have that good of a matchup. I don't expect it. So I think I can get rid of Rock Slide and put Toxic on here, because I mean, worse than I can still Toxic Volcarona, and that could help me weaken it down. But just having Toxic is really nice to help me weaken down that Zapdos and pressure that, which allows the Stunfisk, or it gives it a better chance of beating the Zapdos. Really, just it allows it to beat it more easily and more comfortably. So I really like having Toxic for Zapdos. Also, if he wants to go into Zygarde, like switch out from Zapdos into Zygarde, I can throw a Toxic on that on the turn of the switch, and just getting a Toxic on like anything is good. I mean, I think barring Pharaoh, because I can't Toxic that, but yeah. I've had Power Ice to help me with the Zygarde, and the investment on this is really specific. What was it doing? Oh no, that's not supposed to be there. I'm just looking at my notes now. But the defense is so it can live two Ice Punches from a Life Orb Toxicroak. The then the special attack and me being modest and the 52 in my special attack allows me to 2 KO a 36 HP Zygarde with Empire Ice. The reason I said 36 HP is because if he's creeping Lucario, then he can run that much HP, and so he probably will be that speed and have that much HP. So I mean, I guess if he puts it in Spadef instead of HP, then he has a slight chance to live the 2 Empire Ices, but still probably won't live. But that's if he puts it all in Spadef instead of in HP, but even then it's not that much investment, so it doesn't change your rolls that drastically. But yeah, this is just a really nice set. It allows me to switch in to Zapdos. It's a good check to Lightning Rock, like even at +2 with my Shuka. The draw run does not even 40%, or it does like around 40%, I think. But yeah, not too much. I can take on the T-Tar. I'm not taking on too hard because I don't hit it too hard with Earth Power. That thing is really fat, but I can still get up decent damage with Earth Power. Maybe throw off a Toxic, maybe get up Rocks. It's nice to help me check T-Tar. It can help me with Zapdos, or well, yeah, with Zapdos, it's not meant to. It can help me with Zygarde though. That thing, even if that like +2, I can still live the 1,000 arrows and then Empire Ice and do half, and then I mean if it's at +1, I can live the hit Empire Ice, do half, and then he can come in the following turn. Then I bring in Manchow, just Scarf, and then now speeds and knocks out with that jump kick. So it's really nice mon, helps my team overall. Rocks are really nice for his team, mainly for the Zapdos and the Volcarona, which are mons I need damage on for my fighting types to win late game. And next we got Richard, the Megalodius here, Psychic, Ice Beam, Hand Power Fighting, and Roost. The one thing that I didn't realize until I gen this team, Empire Fighting was a little bit tricky to run on this because I need 31 IVs, but thankfully I was able to gen it from like Gen 4, where they didn't make the legendaries need to have at least 31 IVs in 3 stats, so I was able to gen it from Gen 4 and get through some things and do that. So it worked out in the end. I do have Empire Fighting, so I was scared for a second when I was genning, but it's good. So Empire Fighting is great. It's a good compromise that allows me to hit the Mega T-Tar for pretty good damage, and also still do something to the Ferrothorn. I wanted to hit Empire Fire so I could 2KO, but I don't think I could really afford to run that, because if I run Empire Fighting, I can't really hit the T-Tar at all, and I just get Pursuit Trapped, and I still can get Pursuit Trapped, because if I go for anything but Empire Fighting as he goes into T-Tar, then he can live the following Empire Fighting, and then be able to either crunch me and kill me if I stay in, or pursuit me and kill me if I switch. If I switch and he crunches, then I'm fine. If I stay in as he pursues, I live that. So it's going to be some tricky mind games. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I feel like I'm going to end up staying in if we do get to that scenario, just because I feel like he either sets up rocks or clicks pursuit or something, but I guess we'll play by ear and see what happens. Ice Beam is great because it allows me to hit these Zapdos for more damage than like a Dragon Pulse. I guess 1 Draco does more than 1 Ice Beam, but 2 Ice Beams do more than 2 Dracos, so yeah. Ice Beam also allows me to hit Zygarde harder than a Dragon Pulse, or than a Dragon Pulse would. Same thing with the Dracos, but I want Ice Beam for more longevity and more power overall, because I don't want to be at -2 then just get trapped by the T-Tar. So yeah, I didn't really like Draco too much in the game. Only thing is I can't really hit Starmie too hard. Like Psychic does less than half. It still does a good chunk. If he's offensive, does I think around or almost 40%, which is a good chunk. Like after rocks, might be able to 2KO. Well, I need pretty good rolls, but still, it's decent damage. Like I don't think I can really afford to run coverage for the Starmie. I think these 3 offensive moves are my best, and I like having Roost just allow me to stay healthy, maybe to stay out of pursuit range from T-Tar. Well, if I stay in. Out of staying in pursuit range, or out of range of other hits like Zygarde E-Speed or anything, or like well, I guess like Knockout Speed seems not that, but like outside of range of like Toxic Approach or something. It's just nice to stay healthy and allows me to be more comfortable in beating the Ferrothorn or the Zapdos mainly. I want to have this round of pressure the Zapdos. Like when Mienshao can pivot off the Zapdos, and then I want to have something that I can bring in to pressure the Zapdos immediately, and I feel like Latias is my best bet there, so I really like having this thing around to just to pressure his team a lot. The speed is for max speed, or no, it's for Alola Ninetales, it's creeping max speed Jolly Mienshao, so that just gave me, instead of creeping max speed Timid Ninetales, that gave me a little bit of bulk, a little bit more bulk, not a lot, but something, I guess. Next we got a Leftovers Empoleon. The reason I have this on my team, originally I had Umbreon, which is good, helps me check the Starmie and stuff, but this thing's also a pretty good Starmie check, and I wanted this in this slot because Ferrothorn is a scary boy, and I didn't really have anything that could switch in comfortably and pressure it until I put this thing in Umbreon's slot, and it is a really nice mon to have. So Scald, Empire Fire, Knockoff, Defog, for the most part hits everything that I need to. I mean, Foghorn gets a perfect dance up, Scald isn't doing too much, and I also can't really hit the Zygarde, which is kind of scary, but if it wants to Dragon Dance in my face, I can at least throw off a Scald, maybe get a burn. But if not, I do have Scarf Mienshao and Sash Lucario and Shuckleberry Stunfisk, so I'm not too worried about letting Zygarde get multiple Dragon Dances up, because I do have really these 2 checks to Zygarde if it has multiple Dragon Dances, and if it only has 1, then I can just bring in Mienshao and I'll be okay. And Knockoff is nice because it allows me to have something to hit the Starmie, and also just knock off items in general, like Kofag, Zapdos, Ferrothorn, maybe Zygarde, something like on the Switch. Just any items I can knock off is great. Empire Fire is great for the Ferrothorn. It doesn't quite 2KO if he's Spit F, which he probably will be, so that's scary. But I can 3-KO, which is something. I can take Power Whips fairly well, not amazing. It still does, I think around 35 to 40%, so, or I think closer to 40. So we'll be a 3-KO, even though I do have lefties. But that's if he hits all of them, and if he's clicking Power Up constantly, so not clicking rocks or spikes or anything, or gyro or anything else. Like if he gyros on my switch into Empoleon, that does almost nothing. So I'm fine. And the reason I have lefties over Shuckleberry, which I brought last time, is mainly for that Ferrothorn. Like this thing's job is mainly to pressure the Ferrothorn, to Empire Fire, get it weakened, or maybe kill it, and also has Defog, just in case it wants to hazard stack versus my team, which 5 of the 6 mons are on the ground, then I don't want those hazards staying up, I want to be able to defog them away. I mean, if I already have rocks up on his side, and he only has, like, only has, like, 1 layer of spikes or something, or, like, only has rocks on my side, then I want to keep Hazards up and force him to defog with his Zapdos, because I really like having rocks up for Zapdos, and if Volcarona comes too, it's good to have those. Good to have rocks up for that too. But yeah, this is just a really effective set for the Ferrothorn. The EVs, enough Spidaf so I can live 2 Thunderbolts from a non-boosting Analytics army after Stealth Rocks. So if he's like Scarf or something, but he's Analytic, so on the switch he gets the Analytic boost. But then the next turn does not have the Analytic boost because he's faster. Then I can live those 2 Thunderbolts after Rocks, and then the rest in Special Attack and Modest just to give me a little bit more firepower. Quite literally, because I do Finpower Fire. Yeah, just allows me to weaken down the Ferrothorn and helps me get rid of Hazards if I need to. And really, the Ferrothorn is kind of annoying because while I do my fighting types to pressure them, that just allows him to go right into his Zapdos, and also pressures him having Ferrothorn pressures my Stunfisk, which is my rocker, and I want to get rocks up. And after getting rid of the Ferrothorn, so I don't have to default, that way I can force in Zapdos, weaken that thing down for my fighting types. So it just kind of comes full circle with weakening down Ferrothorn, so I can get up rocks, so I can pressure Zapdos, so that my fighting boys have a chance. And last but not least, we have Tapu Fini. So originally this was like a timid Life Orb, like max special attack Fini, to be offensive and pressure his Zapdos and really be great. But Omega convinced me I should bring defensive after I substituted Empoleon for Umbreon. Because my Empoleon is not Sugar Berry, so Zygarde does scare it out, so I kind of do need something to switch into the Zygarde comfortably. And Stunfisk is not the answer because it still does get 2 KO'd, even though it does have the Shock Out, because it does like 35 to 40%, and the non-Shock hit does like 60 to 70, so I don't live 70, so I don't live that. So I want to have a more comfortable switching, which is this Citrus Berry Tapu Fini. So the speed, so I can outspeed a Zapdos that's creeping and max speed Adamant Lucario, which he might try to do. He might not want to creep max speed Jolly, because last time I was Adamant, and he might want to maximize the amount of bulk that he brings. Like, I know normally Rogue brings, I think every time he's brought Zapdos this season, he's brought just a fat Zapdos with very little speed, so he might not want to bring too much speed. He might notice how I prepped for his Zapdos last time and might bring up fast Zapdos, but he might want to just bring another fat Zapdos, or he might, I think he'll do some kind of speed creeping, and I think he could speed creep max speed Adamant Lucario. So if he does, I'm creeping that. And also this should outspeed any Zygarde, or any Adamant Zygarde. Like if his Zygarde's Adamant, he's probably creeping max speed Adamant Lucario, so then I outspeed that. So it's nice having the speed, and then that gives me a fair amount of bulk and max HP. And with the Citrus Berry, I can live 2 hits from Jolly Banded Zygarde. If he's Adamant, then, like I said, I don't live 2 hits from Adamant, but I outspeed, so that's fine. And this coverage is just really nice. It's all I need for his team. I don't have Hidden Power Fire. I have Nature's Madness in that slot because Nature's Madness is more helpful overall for like the Zapdos or the Ferrothorn mainly. I guess could be useful for Kofag too. Really only those 3. Like everything else has something to hit like super effectively. So Moonblast hits stuff like Toxicroak and T-Tar hard, and Surf hits things like, well, Surf is there mainly for Volcarona and for, there's another mon. Volcarona and Ninetales? No. What else would it bring? Surf? And Lycanroc, I guess. Yeah, and I went Surf for Lycanroc, because Moonblast doesn't knock out, and Surf does. So I wanted Surf for that, to something pressure that. Also, the Toxicroak does have Dry Skin, so we need to keep that in mind, so I do need Moonblast for that. And then Madness also allows me, Madness and Moonblast allow me to hit the Starmie for decent damage. Then I have Ice Beam too, in case if I need some more damage on the Zapdos. Like after Rocks, I should be able to 2KO actually, depending on rolls. But that's if I outspeed, which I think I can. But even if I don't, I can take a T-Bolt, and that'll put me in citrus range. So I'll still be fairly healthy after that. And then you know, I might be able to switch into the Zygarde, and if he's Adamant, I'll be able to outspeed him. But I'm just kind of playing through some scenarios in my head and talking out loud with them now. But Ice Beam just is nice for Zygarde and Zapdos, really. These are really the only 4 moves I need. I don't need anything else that last slot, so I feel like Ice Beam was the best overall. I did a lot of talking in this team builder and talked pretty fast, but I had a lot of ideas, and just wanted to share them and just kind of let you guys know what was going on in my head, because this was a really thought out, really planned team. Like I put a lot of thought into it. Like this team is really based on, and these 2 fighting types are really the core of this team, with one helping the other win, one really catalyzing the other's path to victory, and then just the rest of my team being support and Stunfisk. Like Stunfisk and Latios helping pressure the Zapdos, and then Empoleon and Feeney having their other ways of pressuring like a lot of his other mons, like his rock and ground types, like the Lycan Rock and the T-Tar and the Zygarde too. So it's really nice. I feel like this team really works well together. It's really unified and really cohesive. So thank you again to Omega for his help with this team. I feel like this team just works well together. I think it is a good team I built. This is a team I'm proud of that I built. So. And I mean, I can say that sometimes, but not all the teams I'm super proud of. This team is a playoff caliber team. I'm really excited with the team that I have here. So I'll see you guys in the battle in just a second. Alright guys, so I'm back with the battle as you can see here. So I am bringing these 6 that I just went over, which are my Empoleon, Stunfisk, Mienshao, Lucario, Megaladios, and Tapu Fini. If you want to look at my team more in depth, you can check out the team builder portion, which is earlier in the video, so hopefully you didn't skip that and go right to the battle, because it was a cool team builder, and I brought a cool team. So my good pal Rogue brings Zapdos, Mega Tyranitar, Zygarde 50, Lycanroc, Midday, Volcarona, and Ferrothorn. His potential Z-Mons are the Lycanroc and the Volcarona. My potential Z-Mons are Lucario and Nihilego, and not bringing Nihilego. And Lucario is not a Z-Crystal, it's a Focus Sash set, but I can maybe try to bluff that I have a Z-Crystal. Also, he does have Rufflet, which was his Z-eligible mon, but that didn't come, so obviously that's not going to be using a Z in this game. Thank you to Regulator for recording my battle. Thank you to that good pal. That was very generous of him. Greg is cool. So, Rogue brings almost exactly what I expected. Really, the 6 I expected were those 6, but I thought Toxtrunk would come instead of Volcarona. I didn't think Volcarona had a great matchup with me having things like Nihilego and Charizard, and Latios and Tapu Fini. I mean, Latios, it doesn't stop it that much, but it forces it to bring Bug Buzz and forces another coverage move, and Fini forces like it to bring like a grass move. So I felt like I had enough things and enough different mons that he'd want to bring a lot of coverage. But I mean, I didn't bring Charizard or did not bring Nihilego either. So I guess in that regard, if he predicted that, then Volcarona makes more sense. But I did bring Nihilego last, to be fair. But he did bring Volcarona, so it is what it is. I'm just going to try to get up my rocks as soon as I can to pressure that thing. I did take off Rock Slide on Stunfisk though. Well, that was in the team builder, but at one point I had Rock Slide. But I ended up not having Rock Slide on Stunfisk, so that could come bite me in the butt. But I also might be able to play around that. Like I still have Focus Sash, Lucario still have Scarf Man Shot. Let me check that Volcarona. So yeah, let's get into the battle. The screen keeps like fading away if I click something else or if I move my mouse at all. That's why the screen was like fading away. I had to keep clicking on it. But we're just getting into the battle now. So I'm gonna leave my Empoleon thinking he might expect me to lead with my Rocker, which, well, I guess to be fair, could be Empoleon or Stunfisk, and he might want to lead with Ferrothorn to try to beat my Stunfisk lead, but he ends up leading with Zapdos. I led with Empoleon because I have Impact Fire, and I'm designed to take on this Ferrothorn, but he ended up leading with Zapdos anyways, so that kind of sucks. So I consider staying in, as I can live with T-Bolt and pick it decently well. It does like a little over half, and I can still get off the Skull and do decent damage, maybe a burn. As he also very well might switch into Ferrothorn or something else, probably Fairway if anything, or maybe Zygarde, I guess, if he's predicting Stunfisk to come in. So I consider staying in, just firing off a Skull, or even a knockoff, but whoops, okay, I don't think okay, for a second, I hit something on my monitor, and then I couldn't see the screen, but I don't think that affected you guys, sorry. So, he makes a smart double, or smart switch, not really double, because that's not really the definition of a double. Like, if you switched here, it'd be a double. But I make it double. Yeah, that's what double is. And go right back in Empoleon because I'm scared. And he made a good play on turn 1. So he goes right for Power Up, doesn't even waste time trying to get hazards if he has him on Pharaoh. So Power Up does a good chunk to Empoleon, but I do for lefties. I mean, it's still defensive damage, like it doesn't have any investment. If he does, it's very little. So I still take that fairly well, but Power Up is a strong move and he does hit. So yeah, I'm going to go right for the Impact Fire as he wisely scouts for that. Thinking I brought this in for a reason, which I did, to have Impact Fire, but he makes a smart move, goes right into Zygarde. And, well, that was also smart because, well, he saw I had lefty, so he knows I'm not Shuka, so that was really just a pretty safe play on his end. I mean, worst thing, I go for a knockoff, which I did consider, and get rid of his item, which could be a choice band, which is what he brought last time. So here, I'm just going to go right in my Fini. It's designed to switch into this. I know it might be kind of obvious. If he goes into Zapdos, I'm just going to make him go into Zapdos and make him make the play. But he does actually just stay in and does attack me with 1,000 arrows, which is a really safe play. He really had no reason not to with that. Might as well scout my Fini and just get damage and just see what I'm going to do. As Fini does take that fairly well, showing he's either adamant with like a non-boosting item like a Yachi Berry or maybe Weakness Policy or something. He cannot be a Z-Crystal and Zygarde. Zygarde's not one of his Emons, so he's not that. Or he's Jolly with maybe a Soft Sand or something. But he's definitely not Bend and definitely not Life Orb, because we would have seen that. So yeah, he could be Adamant maybe, so that would be cool, because then my Lucario would outspeed. So here, I'm just going to go right for Nature's Madness. I could have gone for Ice Beam, which would have done more to Zapdos than... Wait. Actually, no, Madness would have done more to Zapdos than Ice Beam, I think. Well, it depends on the set. If he's offensive, I guess Ice Beam does more. But I just went for Madness, which was a safe play overall, instead of Ice Beam or Moonblast, because it gets good damage on Pharaoh, good damage on Zapdos. I figured it's my best play overall. Thankfully, I do hit. Don't miss that, which is great. So that's going to do a solid half to the Pharaoh. We can see if it has lefties, and it does. So it's not Akberry, not any shenanigans. But lefties could be kind of annoying. So I'm just going to go right back into Ben, I think, which is my safest. Or no, do I go into... No, I make the other play here. I go into Richard, which is my Latios here, which will Mega Evolve soon. As it does power up like I thought he would. I thought he might want to set up Rocks or something else too, but hey, even if he went for power up, that's fine. It's not going to do too much to me. So I'm thinking he might be fearing that I've hit Power Fire based on the way I brought this in. Because I brought this in, for the Ferrothorn and to try to deal with this. I don't have hit Power Fire. I have hit Power Fighting, which was a compromise to hit this and the Tyranitar. So I'm kind of hoping that he goes into Tyranitar, expecting a Hidden Power Fire, and I can whip it with the Hidden Power Fighting. But it actually does stay in, which is unfortunate for me. I mean, not like unfortunate. I can still maybe 2KO, depending on rolls and depending on his set. I haven't even seen anything showing his investment yet. We just know he doesn't have any attack, because the only damage we got was from Nature's Madness, which does 50 anyways. So I'm going to go right for the Hidden Power Fighting, as it does stay in. And it does a fair amount, showing he's probably Spit F, might be max Spit F, so yeah, he's definitely got the bulk. But yeah, so he's going to go for the Gyro like I thought he would, and I'm going to live this. I think the max roll was like 108 or something, so I was definitely going to, I don't think it's that high, I think it was like 90 or 95 or something. I was definitely going to live that, so I was fine staying in and taking a Gyro. So here, it looks like he's in range of the Hidden Power Fighting. I thought he might switch into Zapdos or something, or like maybe Volcarona to take this Hidden Power Fighting. In hindsight, his HP bar does look higher than I first perceived it as, and the damage that I did on it the first time was definitely less than I originally thought, because it was at the Nature's Madness put it down to 50%, and the two lefties put it up to 62, and then the Hidden Power Fighting did, I think, about 30-ish%, so he's on like 32. I think it did a little over 30, maybe did like 33%, so he's at like 29, but the lefties put him to 35. So I'm gonna go for another Hidden Power Fighting. I thought it'd kill. He does actually stay in, so I thought I was just gonna be able to pick a nice kill, but it doesn't quite kill. He's on maybe 5% or slightly less. So he does go for a power-up, a little risky. I guess he thought I might switch to Napoleon or something. But he does land, so lucky and bad, it's fine. I mean, it's power-up. I can't really complain about it, hitting multiple of that. Especially because later, we'll see some moves and some accuracy. But I'll get into that when that happens. So I'm going to bring in the Yule, the Yanxiao, and just get off a free U-turn. He does have Iron Barb, so that'll hit me. I just went for U-turn, just brought in this, just because even if he does switch, I can just chip whatever he brings in and then just pivot out and do whatever, and still have the initiative and the momentum. But if he stayed in, that was fine, because the Iron Barbs don't matter until I have regen, so I get back to full anyways, so it's fine. So here I'm going to bring in my Stunfisk, which I felt like was my safest play overall, because Zapdos I can beat, like I can get a Rock versus that, I can Toxic that. Zygarde, I have a Shuka Force, I can hit Bear Ice. Lightning Rock, same thing, I have a Shuka. T-Tar, I have Shuka to, I have the Shuka to take like one Earthquake, or I could get a Rock versus that. Volcarona could be a little bit scary, but he might be fearing that I have Rock Slide. Or I could just get Rock Slide, or maybe throw a Toxic at it, as I can live one hit from that. Well, I guess barring his Emu Fun, I don't think he'd go for that yet. So he does bring in T-Tar like I thought he would. And even though I guess Earth Power is stab and super effective, it's not doing too much. Well, I guess it depends on the set. I didn't really know his set too well. I think he was going to be doing around 35, maybe 40% if he's offensive, but still not that much. Not 2KO because the sand is annoying. So I'm just going to go right for my rocks now, just get them up, because I want them up for the Volcarona and for the Zapdos, and Zapdos probably does have Defog, but I can at least pressure the Zapdos to go for that and force that to happen. So he does Dragon Dance right in my face, which is a little bit scary. I thought he might do that. I thought he might want to get up his own rocks, maybe just Crunch or Earthquake or something, but he does Dragon Dance, which is pretty spooky. So I'm going to throw up my rocks. Now, this Dragon Dance is scary, especially because I cannot knock him out with any one hit from Stunfisk here, so he can get to +2 pretty safely. So that is scary, but I do have a Sash Lucario in the back, so I'm not too concerned. And also, it is a Steel type, so I'm not going to be taking damage from the sand, so I'll still be alive after I take the hit. So my plan here is I'm going to go with my Empoleon and just sack that off. As I mean, if he wants to get up as many Dragon Dances as he wants, he can do that. That's fine. I still have a Sash on my Lucario, so I'm fine with this. If he can Dragon Dance again, gets to +2. I don't need my Empoleon because everything on his team pressures it, and with him not having Ferrothorn anymore, that was what Empoleon was kind of for, and he doesn't have Pharaoh, and I don't need Empoleon to defog away any hazards from that, and I don't need it to Impact Fire and pressure that Pharaoh, because Zapdos pressures this, Lycanroc probably has Drillrun, T-Tar has Earthquake, and I want to sack off something so I can bring in my Sash Lucario for free, and then Zygarde, I'm not Shuka, so Arrows can be doing a lot. And then his Volcarona could potentially set up on this and not take too much from the Scald once he's at +1. So I don't need Empoleon at all, really. So I'm just gonna. This is my best one to sack off, definitely. So I just switch in. I get the lefties after he Dragon Dance. So here he's gonna attack me, goes for the Earthquake, and does easily knock me out. Even if I was shook, I think I still die. So yeah. Down goes Ben, sadly, but Ben is helping out the team, though, that allows me to bring in my Lucario for free. So we're down to 4-5. So I did lose Latios and Ben. The Empoleon, but I can bring in Lucario and I'm sashed. And I also, one thing that I did strategically do was I waited a while to bring this in. Like I waited, I think I waited for a while until like 20 seconds left, or maybe even less, just to make Rogue think that I'm not as confident in my move as I am. Because as soon as I sacked off my Empoleon, I knew immediately I was bringing this in. But I waited a while to bring this in, just because I brought this thing in immediately, he'll think something's up. Now, if I'm Scarf Heat Sauce because he's a +2, so he would probably suspect that I'm Sash if I brought it in immediately, and then he'd be like, oh, wait, I don't want to lose T-Tar, and then he maybe would go into Zapdos or something. Yeah, Zapdos or like Volcarona or whatever. But me waiting to bring this in so long makes him a little bit more suspicious, makes him less suspicious and more likely to just stay in and attack, and that would allow my Lucario to pick up a kill, and not allow this T-Tar to stay at full health and stay in the game, which would still be a big threat. Because if my Lucario loses its Sash, then this could be a lot of trouble if it sets up multiple Dragon Dances, which it might be able to versus Stunfisk again. So Lucario lives on one Focus Sash, it works, it operates correctly, that's good. I was a little bit scared something was going to happen, but it lived, good. Close Combat easily knocks out the T-Tar, so bye-bye Rainy-Tar, so we're at 4-4, we're even. One of my Pokemon is at 1 health, but it's still valuable as I can get off the E-Speed versus Volcarona, maybe versus Lycanroc. Well, no, he does have a Cell Rock, but I will prioritize that. So he does bring in Lycanroc now, as I guess he didn't want to bring in Zygarde. I guess he didn't want. I don't know why he brought this in over Zygarde. I mean, it didn't matter too much, I guess. I feel like Zygarde would have been a safer play, but I guess he didn't want to show that he was jolly, because he was jolly, but like with him being jolly soft sand, he can kind of bluff that he's adamant. I guess he just didn't want Zygarde to take any. I mean, I guess he didn't want Zygarde to pick up the kill and then me to be able to bring in something to pressure Zygarde. I guess I still feed. So I guess that was his logic. He'd rather me bring in something to pressure and deal with his Lycanroc. But I'm gonna keep this around because his rocker, or 2 of his probable rockers, being the T-Tar and the Pharaoh, are gone. He could have rocks on the Lycanroc, and if he does, then my Lucario will be dead once it comes in, if he gets him up prior to me being able to bring in Lucario. But I don't think he'll have rocks in this. I mean, he very well could, but more likely that he had rocks from one of the other 2. So I'm going to keep that around, keep it alive, and bring in Miantra here, which can chew this Cell Rock. It's not even doing enough that if I switch out, then Regen will put me back at full. So I'm going to click Knockoff here or do I click Ether? I think I click Knockoff, because I'm thinking he's not going to stay in, even if he does get off. I guess I can get off some damage, but he's probably going to go into Zapdos, maybe Volcarona, and I can knock off this thing's item, get some decent damage, and scout it set. Looks like it's got some physical bulk, but not quite max phys def, so not really sure what to expect. It might be bold, like, you can't really tell too well, because with Wi-Fi, the little damage bar is kind of ambiguous sometimes. But yeah, so I'm not going to be able to kill with another knockoff, so I'm definitely going to switch. As I go to my Stunfisk, which is a really safe play, I can get up, or I already have rocks up, but I can throw a Toxic at this or do whatever. So he does go for the Rooster, which I thought he would just to stay healthy. So I have Stunfisk in now, so I'm just going to go right for the Toxic, just to get a Toxic on this Zapdos, and I mean, he might switch into Zygarde or something, but he does just wisely default to get rid of the rocks on his side. That way his Volcarona can be comfy and can be healthy and can be comfortable to bring in. Yeah, so Toxic does hit the Zapdos, which is good. That way, if we get in a little war later with him spamming Defog and me spamming Stealth Rock, that'll benefit me because the poison is hitting him. So here, I'm going to try to set up my rocks again before he brings in Volcarona, but he does wisely bring in the Volcarona immediately before I can get in the backup. So he has a Volcarona in versus me, which is pretty scary, because my Lucario is not on Sash anymore, so that's not good. So, if he can get up to +2, I might be able to just lose, which would be bad. So if he does Quiver Dance, and that also means his Spadaf raises, which means I can't get off as much, which means the Earth Power will be doing less damage to him. So I make a kind of ballsy play, as if he does go for a Fire Blast, then my Mienshao will not live it. So I'm going to go right at my Mienshao, expecting him to go for Quiver Dance, because if he's a +1, I'm Scarf, I'll still outspeed and be able to Stone Edge. But actually goes for the Giga Drain, and gets a crit, because he's a little lucky bitch. That crit didn't really come into play, but yeah, so that's interesting. Shows that he's modest, which is interesting. It's good to know. So I'm still kind of scared of Quiver Dance, and kind of scared of things. Not really, I don't think he'd go for Quiver Dance here, but here I'm almost certain he goes into probably Zygarde, not Zapdos, because Stone Edge is a pretty likely play. But I thought he'd go into Zygarde, so I'm going to click U-turn and make that prediction, as he does stay in, which baffled me, and had me very shook. U-turn actually did a good chunk. Well, it's only 2 times resist, not 4 times. But yeah, so I'm going to go into Lucario, and I mean, if he does Quiver Dance, I can at least E-speed the following turn, get off some damage. But he probably will just knock me out. As he does go for the Giga Drain again, as that does 1 to me, and he gets back 1 health, so good job. Yeah, his health bar yeah, the health bar barely moved there, but that's funny. So I'm going to bring a Mienshao again. This time, I kind of have to click Stone Edge. I know he knows it, but he's showing he wanted to stay in, and I don't want him. Maybe he was just sacking this thing off to try to set up with his Zygarde. So I don't want him. I don't want to just keep clicking U-turn, predicting him to switch, and have him and just keep losing Mons over this. So I'm just going to click Stone Edge. As he does switch this time, he does go into his Lycanroc actually, just to sack this off, probably just to bring in his Zygarde for free. As I do Stone Edge, which will do a good chunk, not quite enough to OHKO, but another one will knock him out. So I'm Scarf at speed. I guess he could be Scarf. I don't know that he isn't, but he knows I probably am. Well, yeah, no, actually, yeah, no, he knows I'm Scarf because he saw that I outspeed with the U-turn, right? So he knows I'm Scarf, so he knows I outspeed. He's not Scarf, by the way, so I definitely outspeed him. So I can just click Stone Edge and knock him out, and that's what I'm going to do. The only reason I was really considering anything else is just because I was fearing that I would miss here, because I don't want to miss and then have him go for a Z move and then knock me out, because that'd be bad. But really, Stone Edge is just my best play. I'm not going to switch and risk making a bad play just because I'm scared of missing. I feel like I have to just click Stone Edge, and if I hit, I'm in a great spot. Or not a great spot, because you can bring in Zygarde for free and then get a chance to set up, or just pressure me. But I still Feeny around, I still have Stunfisk around, so I have things for that. So I'm just going to go right for the Stone Edge again, as thankfully Yule misses. Cool, that's what I wanted you to do, Yule. I'm going to have to block this out. I'm gonna write down now. Block out Z move. Yeah, so he's going for the animation here. I'm gonna have to put something on the screen so I don't get copyrighted. Fuck Zygarde, or fuck Lycanroc and the stupid Z move. Because that's annoying, and I have to block that out and remember to do that, which I will. I'm gonna edit the video right after I finish recording this, so I hopefully won't forget. But he's going for, this is a long animation, it's still going on. Once it's done, then. Alright, so I'll probably move the black bar away once the damage comes in. But yeah, so Yule easily dies. If he didn't get the crit earlier, I still would have been too low and would have died to that Z move. So that crit did not matter at all. So that's comforting, I guess. But that Stone Edge miss, that's annoying. I'll talk about that more after the game. So here I was annoyed and really kind of mad, but I was just trying to figure out any way I could bring this game back. So I'm gonna bring in Cochran now, bring in my Stunfisk, as I know he's gonna be able to draw in and break my Shuka. 5% chance he misses, he doesn't miss, it's fine, whatever. So, you just break the Shuka, and it doesn't do much at all, because, still a fair chunk, but, oh no, it gets a crit. I didn't even notice that, till now. I guess I wasn't being very, like, aware, or wasn't paying much attention to detail after that miss. And I also didn't, like, I still cared, like, I still think I had somewhat of a chance, especially if certain things played out how they maybe could have. I still had a chance here, so I don't know, I guess I just missed a crit. But the crit didn't really come into play, I guess. Whatever. So, he's here going to bring in his Volcarona, which is scary, because I'm thinking, oh, he can just Quiver Dance and just win. But, so he can go for a Giga Drain, which I actually will live, but he gets back a lot of health, and I can't really hit it too hard. So, I think my best play is actually going into Toffee Feeny. because we saw earlier that he's modest, so my Tapu Fini is timid. It's not quite max speed, but if he's modest, I might be able to outspeed him if he's not max speed modest. So if my Fini can live one Giga Drain from this, so I can go into that and then take the Giga Drain, live, and then maybe be able to outspeed him the following turn and hit him with a Surf. Maybe. We'll see. So I go into Fini, as it looks really cool in this lighting, just the way that that Greg made this. I don't know, it looks cool. The purple's like really bright and shiny. It's nice. Anyway, so he goes for the Giga Drain. Still, I think is low enough to where Surf will kill him. I get my Citrus back, which doesn't really matter because that doesn't help me with outspeeding. So here, I'm gonna hope that I outspeed and hope I can just get off the Surf, which should be able to knock him out. But turns out he actually does outspeed. He was actually Scarfed, which is pretty cool. So I didn't have to fear the Quiver Dance because he was just forward attacking with Scarf, but I didn't know that at the time. The Quiver Dance Volcarona is kind of the standard thing, and that's what I was scared of there. So I mean, I guess we saw the Z move on Lycan Rock, but he still could have been like. I mean, at that point, after I saw the Z move on the Lycan Rock, I mean, it didn't matter too much if he was Quiver or not. I mean, if he was Quiver, he could have just won, but he wasn't Quiver, which gave me somewhat of a chance, but not really, because he was still Scarf, now it's Fini, so but I was just fearing Quiver earlier. I mean, he still could have brought a Z Crystal on both, and I just used either one that he needed at the time, so, I mean, yeah, it's definitely viable to bring two Z Crystal Mons. But yeah, so he's just going to go for Giga Drain again. I do live, which is cool, I guess, but doesn't really matter, as Earth Power is not going to do enough. Yeah, so Earth Power does something, and then he's going to be able to Giga Drain again and knock me out. So, and then that was my last Mon, so we do lose to Rogue, as you'll see in just a second. We do lose 3-0. So that really blows, especially because I missed that Stone Edge, which was pretty crucial. It did not definitively cost me the game. There's still like a lot of things that could have happened and a lot of mind games that would have gone on, because there were a lot of different scenarios that could have played out based on how he played. But at least the first few turns of what would happen after, so let's wait for the clock. Okay, so the first few turns, so if I hit the Stone Edge and knocked out Lycan Rock, which I mean it's an 80% accurate move, so it's not that high, so you know it's somewhat justified that. I mean, I missed my second one, like I hit the first one on Lycan Rock. I mean, if I missed the first one though, I would have switched into Stunfisk though, because I know I was locked in Stone Edge, and I know that the next one wouldn't have knocked out the Lycan Rock, and I didn't want to lose Mienshao to a Z move, so I would have gone into Stunfisk then, to be fair. So I guess missing the first one wouldn't have been a big deal at all. Missing the second one after hitting the first one kind of sucked, but it is what it is. But what would happen after that? So if I hit it, knocked out Lycan Rock, he brings in Zygarde, because these other options are Volcarona, which dies to Stone Edge, and after the switch, Rocks were up again. Yeah, after that point, then Zapdos would have died to the Stone Edge, so he had to go in Zygarde. And I think what he said he would have done is he would just gone right for arrows, and he wouldn't have needed to Dragon Dance, as I would have gone in Stunfisk clearing a Dragon Dance, and not letting him get to +2. Well, not letting him get to +2 and be alive after dealing with Stunfisk, because I had my Shuka. But he said he would have gone right for arrows, which would have broke my Shuka on the switch, and then at that point Stunfisk would have been in range of another arrow, so I would have gone into Fini, which, depending on rolls, might have, after Citrus, might have been healthy enough to live another arrows. It does not have speed because he was Jolly, and then I could go for Moonblast, or go for probably Ice Beam actually, and knock out, I think almost knock out the Zygarde. Maybe I think it was a roll, because he was at 94, and then the rocks that he would have took there put him at 88, and so it was a roll, I think, but in his favor. But even if it doesn't kill, then I can bring Mienshao and pick him off with something, as I will still live the East-Peak, so I'll be healthy enough, because he's not boosted at that point. And then it basically comes down to me having, then I would like U-turn out. Either, rocks were up, so yeah, Volcarona after rocks actually dies to a high jump kick. So if I just click high jump kick versus the Zygarde, then I might have been able to spam high jump kick a lot and just beat his team. So if I still Stunfisk around to help me with Zapdos, then I might have been able to beat that, but then I don't want him to defog and then be able to bring in Volcarona for free, so if I just spam my jump kick with Mienshao, maybe I'd win there if his Zapdos, because the Zapdos was toxic, and if he's trying to defog. Basically, if I predict him to defog and get that correct, then I have a chance, but if I predict the root, it comes down to defog and roost mind games and which turn he goes for what, and I think both of us still had a chance, so it was not definitive that I win, so I can't be that upset in that regard, because I was not guaranteed to win, but either way, Rogue played well, he prepped very well. brought a cool team. The Volcarona, I wasn't really expecting, but I guess made some sense with this team, and it was pretty spooky. I mean, I thought I built a very good team. Like, I think the Sashly card worked out really well. That was Omega's idea. Thanks again, Omega. Scarf Miancha was really good. I wanted to bring it the first time versus him, but I thought, you know what, that's kind of too good. I want to wait to bring that in case we play in playoffs, which we did, so I'm glad I did. Shuka's Stunfisk was helpful and really helped me to pressure his team, and it was good overall versus him. The Citrus Feeny was kind of cool. Kind of wish I was bulkier because I was not going to outspeed Zygarde or his Zapdos with the speed that he brought, so my speed was kind of useless, actually. I mean, it gave me the potential to outspeed his modest Volcarona, but not really to Scarf, so my speed was kind of a waste, so I guess I could have been bulkier, but whatever. The Latios was cool, and I feel like I put myself in a position to maybe force him his T-Tar, and I could go with him better fighting, but he did stay and just hacked off Pharaoh, so whatever. And then the Empoleon was good early game to help me deal with Pharaoh, and was a good sack to the T-Tar. So I felt like my team, honestly, I prepped well, I played pretty well with it. I put myself in a position to win, and I had a chance to win, even though, I mean, he made some good early game plays to pressure me, but I felt like I had the prep and just trusted my prep and played around that by really just doing what I was planning to do. And like I used my Sash early, like I used Napoleon to deal with Ferrothorn. Latios helped me pressure and weaken the Ferrothorn, and the Miancha was almost able to pull through late game. And you know, it happens though sometimes. You miss a Stone Edge. It sucks, but it's Pokemon. So this is the end of the Major Pokemon League Season 6 for me. Rogue is in the finals versus the winner of Uzi and Nick. So check that out. That'll probably be maybe uploaded. Maybe like the Major Build Twitter will link it out. Maybe I'll put the link to one of their battles in the description so you can see who wins and who plays Rogue, in case if you don't want spoilers. But yeah, I should probably wrap up this video. The CPC is also done for me because I lost and didn't make playoffs. So I'm gonna make some kind of recap or update video of some sort soon. I'll upload it next Friday, I guess. So yeah, I'll do that just so you guys kind of know what's going on, because I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do any more leagues. Really ever, at least not for now. I'm done with the leagues, but I'll get into that more in that video. So I'll see you guys with, I guess, the update video next Friday, and yeah, peace out.